the budget process takes into account the next 4 years. When they balance a budget, and I say they, meaning, the mayor and the city administrators team, as well as with the council, they're really looking at balancing the budget over the next 4 years. So anyway, so the council has to decide, which is why you're seeing these town halls. And so the council members are listening to the community and making sure that they hear all of the issues, and so that they can make a educated and informed decision about whether or not they want to move forward with the project or not. So that's where it's at. I attended Councilmember Felder's meeting yesterday, and I will attend Councilmember Parker's meeting tomorrow. Hope that you'll come. And there are a lot of questions, and you touched on a number of them. What about, I'm sorry, there's a lot of questions that people have about parking and transportation, obviously, just because, if there is a stadium, there will need to be a fair amount of people coming to and fro. In terms of the affordable housing, there we are estimating right now 5,000 to 6,000 housing units can be developed around the stadium. And the Anacostia Waterfront Initiative, which RFK sits within, has the highest affordable housing requirements that the city has. Sorry, I hear a little bit of a echo. Do you guys hear that? Okay, I'll keep going. So, so for all of the housing units, 30% have to be at low income or middle income levels. And I'll send you something so you can see what the actual income levels are. But that means 1/3 of all of the housing units at the site have to be at this at the lower to, and it's actually lower middle income. So what they call 30% of area median income and 60% of area median income. Okay, it looks like you're familiar with that. What else did you ask me? Oh, and then environmental. And right now, as many of you know, the current RFK Stadium itself is being demolished. And Events DC is doing that demolition. It's not like one of those great dynamite, everything, kind of implodes. Instead, they're taking it apart piece by piece, in part because of environmental considerations, as well as the complexity of the actual building. So that will take 2 years to actually demolish the current stadium. But any new development will take into account existing soil conditions and all of that. One of our visions for the redevelopment of RFK is to make sure that it is connected to other parts to the area. And so there's trail systems. Last night in Ward 7, east of the river, several of the community members there said, hey, we don't want you just to be connected on the west side of the Anacostia with trails. We also want to be connected on the east side of the Anacostia to RFK. And then I will say the focus on making sure that DC residents get jobs and making sure that DC entrepreneurs and companies get jobs, that is undoubtedly not only something that we've heard, but is also part of our vision. And personally, I think that we have 2 good years of planning before construction begins, and we should be using our time to make sure that this project delivers in a meaningful way to local people. So anyway, that's just a little bit of a primer on what will be shared tomorrow, but I'm happy to come back to this ANC and talk about it some more if you'd like. Oh, okay. I see somebody's posted here the listening session for tomorrow and the link to that.
So we're 15 minutes over the allotted time for this presentation. So I ask if there's any residents that you have questions to attend tomorrow's event. Tomorrow's town hall of Councilmember Parker. And someone can just drop that information in the chat. the councilmember's office will talk about it at their allotted times. As we said, we're 15 minutes over, so you can go to tomorrow's event. Looking forward to seeing you. Okay, with that being said, we'll go ahead and move on with the agenda. We have our standing presentation. Ms. Henderson, as I said, we went over our time, and you can go ahead and go to the event tomorrow. Best of luck. We have our standing presentations, and we'll go ahead and go back to what reports we're going to go with. And we'll go with the treasurer's monthly. You know who the presenter is. We'll continue with the meeting. We'll start with the treasurer's monthly report. Commissioner McCray, when you're available.
All right, and can you all hear me? You're a bit muffled in the community room, so like we hear you kind of in and out, at least on my end. But thank you again to DipMed Deputy Mayor Albert. We really appreciate you. So thank you so much. We'll definitely have some follow-up. You know, we will be reaching out, and we appreciate you for being here tonight. And we're gonna kind of move on just because we're a little bit over on time. But we'll be circling back, and we appreciate you for joining us tonight.
All right. Have a great meeting. Thank you for having me. We'll talk more.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Bye. And
moving on to the treasurer's monthly report, just as a quick update to everyone, the treasurer's monthly report, I have to give a quick disclaimer, and just as a result of kind of a stale check, the OANC initiated an adjustment of $9.54 to reverse check 352, dated May the 3rd, 2024, issued to Commissioner Anna Roblin. This check is stale and cannot be cashed. So due to that, we will have to reissue the check. In accordance with the OANC, we do not need to revote on that check, but we will be able to reissue that check. So I just needed to display that in a public meeting just to kind of give the update. I'm getting some type of feedback, in the audience right now, but just a heads up, we have to reissue a check dated for May the 3rd, 2024 in the amount of $9.54. We do not need to revote on that check, but we will be reissuing that check to Commissioner Anna Roblin. And just as a treasurer's monthly report, we will, as of May 1st of 2025, we had not received the OANC Q3 allotment as of yet. So our beginning balance as of May 1st was $52,130.69. There will be a better update in June, but as of May 1st, that was our balance. And that ends my report from the treasurer standpoint.
Okay, so can you hear me better now? Perfect. Thank you, Treasurer. With that being said, I will skip the committee reports for the sake of time and move straight into our commissioner reports. 5D01 is currently absent, so we'll go to 5D02. That's Commissioner Rose in Ivy City.
Sure, thank you. I just want to let you all know that our Ivy City Resiliency Strategy Plan Workshop number 2 has went very well, and number 3 will be June 14th at Lewis Crow Park. Also, we just did an Ivy City environmental justice tour this past Saturday, which went very well. And that's it. Is the other stuff is basically, keep calling 311 for illegal dumping. Make sure that your ANC commissioner have the or the ANC commissioner and your SMD, or you can send them to me, the 311 request numbers. And that's it for me. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. 5D03.
So, hi, I'm Anna Roblin of Southern Trinidad. So, several residents on the 1100 block of Moore Street and myself have been circulating a petition for better lighting from the street lamps. I don't know, some of you may or may not be aware that not long ago, I think it was probably about 2 years ago, DDOT changed all the bulbs in DC to more energy saving bulbs, but the new ones are not able to light as brightly. They just don't have that capacity as the old bulbs were. So this is affecting, as you can imagine, safety issues, both traffic accidents of all kinds and crime as well. So I think it's a very serious and an important issue. And if you would like to advocate for brighter lighting on your block, you should definitely contact your ANC single member district commissioner. And we have a petition already going, possibly we could combine petitions. So we're gonna have a spring health and resource fair Saturday, May 31st from 11 to 2 at Starburst Plaza, where agencies will be tabling. This was Commissioner McCrae's brainchild. Thank you so much, Commissioner. We have invited many agencies, including MPD, Department of Behavioral Health, ONES, DPW, DDOT, Fire and EMS, DPR, Delicious Democracy, Food Co-op, Councilmember Parkers, Department of Health, C. Sosa, Cure the Streets, Sasha Bruce, DOB, Mayor's Office. We'll definitely probably have at least, 6 tables to maybe as many as 10 or 12. Kelly Sislo from Commissioner McDuffie's office also put the word out to many organizations, agencies. So, we hope that you can make it, come by and learn about the various agencies and the resources that you have at your disposal as a resident. Please tell everybody you know that's May 31st, Saturday, from 11 to 2 at Starburst Plaza. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. With that being said, we also have 5D04, which is Central Trinidad. They have a new commissioner that was sworn in recently, Mr. Nathan Hosler. So Commissioner Hosler is now the commissioner for 5D04. They are not in attendance today, but feel free to reach out to them directly to get to know the new commissioner. I am the commissioner for 5D05, Northern Trinidad. We had a very great block captain meeting last weekend at the rec center. We separated into groups to get through some door knocking, to get some contact information to connect Trinidad. We're looking to connect the neighborhood as a whole. And if you're interested in being a block captain, feel free to reach out directly to me. My phone number is 202-826-7807. And our next meetup is on the 26th, which is in a couple weeks. It's again on a Saturday at 10 a.m. We'll be discussing Trinidad Day, which is going to be the Saturday before the new school year starts in August, and also further growing this Trinidad neighbor network that we want to build in the neighborhood. With that being said, we'll pass it over to 5D06.
Thanks so much. Good evening, everyone. It is Commissioner McCrae, 5D06, Trinidad Carver Langston. I'm just going to give a few updates and then pass that baton off. We had a few cleanups throughout the month of April. We'll be doing some more throughout the month of May. So stay tuned for those. I know Councilmember Parker's team is online, so you all will hear more about the RFK listening session that is occurring tomorrow, May 14th, from 6:30 to 8 p.m. So I won't steal their thunder on that, but that is occurring tomorrow. That link was dropped in the chat. Another event that I want to point out to folks is May 19th, next Monday. There will be an event at the future Carver Langston Park at 1854 L Street Northeast. That community meeting will be at the kind of corner of 19th and L Street from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. on Monday, May 19th. So feel free to join that meeting. DPR will be in person and discussing kind of next steps that'll occur with that meeting. And then just kind of lastly, piggybacking on what Commissioner Roblin already let you guys know about is Saturday, May 31st at Starburst Plaza, we'll be doing a community event. So spread the word, there will be a flyer forthcoming. We hope to get a lot of community members out to that event, but we know there's a lot going on just throughout the federal government, a lot of folks that are impacted by that. So we just want to ensure that we have the DC government show up and make sure that we have the resources out there for folks to come and stop by. So feel free to stop by on Saturday, May 31st from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will be out there, and just stay tuned for more cleanups as we go forth. But that's it from my end.
Thank you, Commissioner. 5D07 is absent today. 5D08. No, ma'am, you're not 5D06. You're 5D08. You want to grab the mic?
What did you ask me?
We're giving our reports of our single member district. How's your SMD?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm kind of like apathy right now.
5D09, Commissioner G. Campbell.
Hello, everyone. I'm the commissioner from 19th and Bennett, all the way around from 21st and M Street, Browns, Phelps. The only thing I'm working right now is the speed bumps on 19th Street and the potholes that we have on 19th and Bennett Road, and helping out my constituents that need housing and have an issue with housing. So those are the things that I'm working on right now. So if you have any issues or you need inspection or something, you can come talk to me. You can reach out to me. But right now, that's what I'm working on, getting the speed bumps and getting the potholes filled. So those are the only thing right now for me.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Oh, also, I don't know who's the commissioner for I'm gonna give you this address, 837 18th Street. But I had got a phone call from a landlord so that they have some drug activities going on over there, and they want to know like what can they do and how can they get the help that they need to try to get some of the activity done. So I wanted to say that too, because I'm not sure who's the commissioner for 837 18th Street. Oh, that's 19th. It's either 18th or 19th, but it's right up the street from me and Commissioner McCullum.
Thank you.
And just circle up with me. I'll touch base with you offline just about the address and kind of location wise.
Okay. You got my number, right?
Yeah, I do. I'll reach out.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, reach out to me because they really say it's a problem. Yeah, so just reach out and we can talk and I can give you the exact address that they gave me.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. So with that being said, those are reports from the ANC. Confirmation, can I get a verbal confirmation that we don't have anyone here for the Metropolitan Police Department? Commissioners, do you see anyone online? Take that as a no. Do we have the mayor's office? I believe we do have Ms. Stargill here.
Yes, good evening.
Great to see you, Christian. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on. I know we got started a little bit late, so I'll keep my report to a minimum, only a couple, and then I'll take questions. So we're excited to announce that for the fiscal year 26, there will be full funding for the pre-K enhancement and expansion program, which is considered the PKEEP, the Early Education Educator Pay Equity Fund, and the DC Child Care Subsidy Program. So I know our office received a lot of questions and concerns regarding that program, which is why we're happy to announce that. To calm everyone's worries that it will be funded for this upcoming fiscal year. Next, we have the DC 2050 Vision Survey, which will be open through May 18th, with tabling events and ongoing events through the Office of Planning, who is developing the plan. It's considered a comprehensive plan that all residents are encouraged to participate in. There will be tabling in neighborhoods around the city. And I'll drop the link where you can sign up for updates as well as sign up to attend the public workshops that will be held on Saturday, May 31st from 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. and Wednesday, June 4th from 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. Lastly, we're encouraging all of our seniors to register and join us at DC Senior Fest through the Department of Aging and Community Living, as well as the Department of Parks and Recreation. We'll be hosting an annual free event considered the Senior Fest, celebrating DC seniors. Participants will enjoy socializing with each other as they experience live entertainment, music, health exhibits, board games, and guest speakers. Lunch will be provided, and this event will be held on Wednesday, May 21st at 10 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m., and it'll be at the Gateway DC Pavilion, 2700 Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. And also, I know the council office will present on the meeting tomorrow, but I look forward to seeing you all there as well. That's all for my updates for the night, and I am open to receiving questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the mayor's office today?
I think if I could just say one thing, I think I'm kind of disappointed that MPD isn't here. We've just had a lot going on for them not to show up 2 months in a row to our community meeting. So just putting that bug in the mayor's office ear. It's that kind of concern.
Yes, so it's kind of breaking up towards the end, but I kind of got the gist of what you're saying, and we can follow up with them and let them know the communities wanting them to be on the meeting so we can address some of the concerns that you all have been having. So we will communicate that concern with them.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you, Commissioner.
Christian, can you put the information about the events in the chat if you haven't already, please?
Yes, as soon as I'm done, I'm going to drop the links.
Thank you.
Of course. I can't hear anything. Are there any other questions? I'm sorry.
If there's any other questions, we'll let you go.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear.
Yes,
Okay. Well, good night. I can't make out what someone is saying, what is being said. But if there's any other questions, if you all can drop them in the chat, and then I'll go ahead and drop the links. And thank you all.
Thanks, Christian. And just do that. And if we have any other questions, we'll just email you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Commissioner Rhodes. All
You're
right.
welcome.
And just really quickly, Christian, are you still here?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
She's
There
I'm here.
was one question in the chat, and I think it's more focused mayor-wise. Um, a community member wanted to raise the issue of the internet service provider WeLink to remove its hardware. This was a mayor-sponsored initiative. I don't know if that person wanted to add more context to that question, but there is something about WeLink, and maybe this is something we could follow up with offline if this resident wanted to drop their information. But if you're familiar, if you could chime in on that. If not, we'll have them kind of respond to that just via email, if that makes more sense. Just, I don't know if you know about this or not, or if they could provide more context, but I don't see any context yet. But just throwing that out there.
No, I'm not too familiar with this. Maybe with more context, maybe, but if you're able to forward me the residents' information, or like you said, I'll get it from the chat if it's dropped there. And I can follow up with them offline, and that'll be good.
All right, perfect, perfect. We'll get them to send an email, and what we can do is follow up via that way.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, perfect.
Jeez.
Commissioner Soseda Guzman, we can't hear you if you're speaking.
Sorry, Commissioner.
We can hear you, Mr. Richard, but we can't hear Commissioner Soseda Guzman.
Yeah, they can't hear you. They can hear you because you're sitting in front of that laptop.
Is Councilmember Parker's office next?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank
I'm
you.
here. My name's Andriana Lovelace. I'm the Constituent Service Coordinator for Councilmember Parker's office, and I represent 5D, and I'll be giving the announcements. As Commissioner McCray said, and also the Deputy Mayor, tomorrow is our RFK listening event. We're hosting this at Two Rivers from 6:30 to 8 p.m. We'll be joined by leadership from the Washington Commanders, as well as the Deputy Mayor, and there's also some council members. The doors open at 6:10, and we have a lot of people RSVP, so it's going to be a packed event. So if you want a seat, get there early so you can be heard. Also, on tomorrow at 6 o'clock, the Blainsburg Bus Garage is hosting a spring community meeting about the reconstruction project. They want some community engagement, so you can join Metro virtually for their spring community meeting to discuss recent project updates and also engage with Metro's project leaders. Please be aware that they have reserved an alternate date of June 2nd, and they'll give advance notice if that date changes, but it doesn't look like it. It'll talk about project overview and update, the construction and design updates, and a 90-day look ahead. And then lastly, from our office, I think Commissioner McCray talked about this as well. DPR and the Department of General Services are hosting an in-person meeting on the future of Carver Langston Park at 19th Street and L Street on May 19th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. You can learn more, and I'll drop links to all of these things. And lastly, if you have any questions, you can email me at alovelace@dccouncil.com or call me or text me 202-368-1759. And if you have any questions, I'm here to answer.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Adriana?
I just want to make one more comment
Sure.
because I made it to the mayor's
No, go
office,
ahead,
but
please.
to the council member's office as well. Just I find it disappointing that MPD did not show up for a second month in a row. There's a lot going on that I know the community wants to hear about and talk to MPD about. And I just want to echo that thought and kind of get that shared up the chain through both parties that we do need them at these meetings and there should be some type of response to the community. So just wanted to echo that again.
Yes, that will be brought up.
Thank you. And also, about the meeting concerning the RFK Stadium, like the question I posed to Demped, will the communities, the residents, the district residents, will our questions, will our concerns be put, will be considered when, because we all know that Councilmember Parker is a maybe as far as, you know, who's
Yeah.
gonna, yeah. So will Ward 5's concerns be considered? Or
So
do
I
you
know
have that answer?
tomorrow's event is mostly to listen to you all. It is directly targeted a little bit towards Carver, Langston, and Trinidad residents wanting to hear your voice, wanting to hear your concerns, wanting to hear your questions. So that'll be our first and foremost, like, that's what we want to hear. You know, a lot of these questions, we're taking your questions, we're making sure they're asked first. So you'll see a lot of that tomorrow, just wanting to hear from you guys. And I think that will either sway his decision. Um, Again, like you say, he's a maybe. So tomorrow is big on just hearing what you all have to say. And that'll probably sway where he's going.
Thank you on that.
You're welcome.
Is there any more questions from the audience? Or anything in the Q&A?
And if not, I heard you talk about 311 requests. If you have any of them, you can always email me and I can help escalate them so you can get them done a little faster. But I hope to see you all tomorrow.
Okay.
I did have a quick question.
Yes.
Being that it does look like Councilmember Parker is voting a yes on this, just because of his recent proximity with majority of the folks in favor of this project. Is it possible for him to just directly answer the question and how this project's gonna accelerate gentrification in our area? This area has been known as one of the last strongholds of affordable housing, which it actually meant affordable at one point, now it isn't. And if this project moves forward, we lose all that. Can the Councilmember Parker potentially answer that question tomorrow, since this directly affects us in our pockets?
Yes, I can pose that question.
Perfect.
Yes, I'll write that down.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Okay, with that being said, we finished our standing presentations. We do have some homework from the councilmember's office to get in touch with MPD to figure out why they're skipping our meetings. And we appreciate that due diligence on their behalf. With that being said, we have our consent calendar items, and then we'll move to the meat and potatoes of tonight's meeting. We did make an amendment to add the request to secure property at 1704 West Virginia Avenue Northeast as a consent calendar item at the beginning of tonight's meeting. Are there any questions on the consent calendar items before we move to a vote? Commissioners? Okay, seeing that there's no questions.
Just really quickly.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
The letter, was it dropped in the chat or did I miss it? The one that we added?
Yes. Andy, can you drop the letter again?
Oh, I see it. Never mind. Just kidding.
Any other questions? Okay. I move that we approve tonight's consent calendar items as presented to the public with tonight's amendment. Can I get a second? Second by Commissioner Roblin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? And any abstentions? Okay, the ayes have it, that passes. Thank you, commissioners. We're moving forward with tonight's agenda. Oh, sorry, echo. We're moving forward with tonight's agenda, and for a voting action item, we have BZA number 21292, 405 Moore Street Northeast, and I believe we have Meredith Moldenhauer here to present.
Hello, good evening, commissioners. Meredith Moldenhauer. I will share my screen and provide a quick presentation. Let's see here, share. Can everybody see that?
I can see it, Meredith.
Okay, great. So I am here presenting for 21292, which is 405 to 407 Morris Street. We did present to the zoning committee and were available to present to the committee of a whole, but did also provide questions and answers to the ANC based on questions that were presented. We presented, sorry, twice to the zoning committee. So just walking through, these are two different properties, as you can see here, located on Morris Street in the PDR1 zone, highlighted in blue. Here you can see in red a box out of the site, which is 407, and next to it is 405. The intent is to propose an entertainment event space and music venue. The two structures would be joined together to create one venue location. The property would be used, will take place fully, or the proposed use will take place fully with inside the building. There would be no restaurant or dining use at the structure. The access for the structure or the use would be off the rear of the alley, as kind of seen and depicted here in a rendering. It would be light secured and camera secured as well for access off the alley. We have been obviously discussed at the last meeting, the fact that there are currently elements that need to be cleaned up. My client is working diligently to clean those up and to continue to contact and call 311 if people are improperly dumping in the alley. Here you can see the first and second floor. The access will be off the alley in order to allow the first floors to remain retail. There's a proposed use in 405 and to allow the continued use in 407. As you can see in the bottom here, the access would be off the located off the rear of the staircase going up to the second floor, and the total design would obviously be located in the center of the building. There was some noise. I'm just slowing down to try to see that abated. We did propose some additional security and operational plan. While this is not really relevant to the zoning relief, it was questions that were raised, and so we wanted to obviously provide it to the community. We would have a CBE certified independent security company, personnel on site during, before, during, and after the events. Staff would be positioned at the entrance, inside the venue, and in the alley. There'd be night vision security cameras. We would have lighting installed in the alley for visibility and safety purposes. And we would also coordinate with ride shares and multimodal transit providers to secure that those would kind of smoothly arrive and depart the facility. Here are some images of where the security cameras would be located. You can see camera 1, camera 2, and camera 3 in this image. Here you would see another camera located here, and then 3 other cameras located, and then one located on the outside. for security purposes. The relief that we're seeking tonight are twofold. One, special exception relief, which we believe is consistent with the special exception requirement for an entertainment, assembly, and performance arts use. We believe that this is in harmony with the general purpose and intent of the zone plan, as well as the overall Union Market comprehensive plan analysis to create a vibrant city in a vibrant area with mixed uses. The relief would not tend to adversely affect the neighboring properties. The property is separated by an alley from additional properties, and all of the uses along Moore Street are mostly industrial, warehouse, storage, or uses that would be occurring potentially at off times when this use would be occurring. There are additional conditions under this requirement regarding whether there be any objectionable aspects as to noise, traffic, loading, or parking. Loading and parking is not required for the site, but we obviously will work with patrons and users who we believe mostly will come in through public transit. Moore Street obviously has a variety of retail and dining uses that we believe will host those individuals, and they'll attend events and programs after those opportunities. The property does not abut a residential use or zone. And we have walked through an extensive amount of detailing regarding soundproofing of the facility to ensure that sound is maintained inside the building. We would have floors have use floating floors and rubber underlay, which reduces vibration. The doors and windows, we're going to have a solid core door with weather and stripping, also a double glazed windows. We're going to have an entry design like a vestibule. That way noise would not escape when one door is opened as patrons enter and exit. We have speaker placements and have directed those to the center of the room, also coordinating and working with the sound system to ensure that it complies with all requirements from a sound perspective. And then we would the client would conduct sound checks to ensure that everything is compliant. Last, in regards to requests to comply with the fact that there are no other such uses within 1,000 feet. When we first came to the ANC in March, we did learn that there was another BZA case that was seeking the same relief, and so now we are asking for variance relief from this subcondition. But we do comply with the other requirements. I kind of can outline here. The variance test we believe is satisfied as the uniqueness of the timing of the fact that when we filed for this application, there were no other uses within 1,000 feet, but literally, like I think a couple days before we filed it, another application did come to fruition, but the use is very different than the proposed use here, so we don't believe that there would be any adverse impacts, and that there would be no detriment to the public good or zone plan. We have, just as an update, have received a filing from Office of Planning. Office of Planning is supportive of both the special exception and the use variance on this case. I will stop sharing my screen and be available to answer any questions. Thank you very much, Commissioners, for having me tonight.
Oh. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
thanks,
Is
Meredith.
this working? Yeah.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Meredith. Does anyone have any questions? Go ahead.
So, is this working?
If
If
I'm
I'm speaking here, can you hear me?
We can hear you, just an echo, but
Echo.
we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Is it better?
kinda.
It's a little bit better.
Okay, you're good.
Yeah, way better
Miss
now.
Moldenhauer, we did a small walk in that alley, and
we do not see the vision that this project is entailing. We do request to get more visuals of what exactly you're referencing when it comes to activating more of that alley than what it already is. But all we see is a busted alley and a bunch of dumpsters. So this project seems very, very premature. Can you answer to that comment?
Yes, I mean, obviously, the access for the alley, is a vision and it requires a property owner to invest, and to invest in the city. I think, Miss Nina Albert talked about, growth being, not an option, but a requirement to see continued development, and progress in the city. And I think that, while, yes, it does not look the way we want it to look now, but I think that, with the ANC support and with getting the application approved by the BZA, you will see a transformation for the benefit of the community.
So I would say that we would like to see some plans in action or a blueprint or some sort of work in progress to ensure that that actually is done. We get a lot of developers that come and say a lot of stuff to us, and then they don't do half of anything what they say. So, like I said, I will vote no on this project because I just think it's very premature based on what the conditions are right now. We have no examples of you sharing that you're going to be working on the alley, doing any updates to the alley, like some of the other development that happened directly touching that alley. And until that's done, it's a no for me. This is way too premature. Commission, you didn't do roll call. You weren't here. So, is there any other commissioners with questions? He's not present in the meeting. You weren't here. You can't just come into a meeting randomly. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Ask your question if you want to ask a question.
Oh, you need that.
Thank you. Oh. Hello, so this is me, Hector, who represents the SMD in question. So personally, I'm supportive of this project. I think that it makes no sense to look at a place that's not doing super well, it's kind of run down, and then say, oh, we shouldn't be investing in this area. We shouldn't let people develop it to make it better, to make it more active. If we're afraid of things being like sketchy or whatever, I tell you that alley has had some sketchiness, and that's because there's not enough activity. As a city, we should be encouraging people to take underutilized spaces and make them, invest in them and make good stuff happen there. So I am strongly in support of this project, and I encourage all the other commissioners to vote in favor of it. Thank you.
Was it a question? It was a comment. Are there any actual questions from the commissioners?
And where is this alley located again?
This
on,
is
Morris
directly
Street.
across the Trader Joe's in front of that space that is a parking lot at this time.
Okay.
And just to comment on Commissioner Arbuckle's comments, I'm not opposed to the project. I believe it's premature since there's no signs of any work being done to mitigate the concerns that we have with that alley.
And Commissioner, just to respond to that comment, I mean, we're here at a preliminary stage. Before my client can invest in the site, we have to get the zoning approval to allow for the use. Once that can be obtained, then obviously, additional work can be done. My client would be happy to come back, obviously, to the ANC and provide updates later on, but we do have a hearing date. And without moving forward with the relief, nothing can be done. So you won't see any progress unless we can get the support from the ANC, and move forward. And as I did indicate in my presentation for the other commissioners, the Office of Planning has issued a report supporting both the special exception and the variance for this case. And we'd obviously be seeking your support tonight.
I understand, Miss Moldenhauer, but the thing is, you don't have to invest money or put down concrete to show us a plan of what you're gonna do in that alley. That's what I'm requesting. The alley is not fit for the space you want to put in right now. We get it. Your client wants to invest. We want to see the paperwork to show that that's actually gonna happen. Because we have a history of folks not fulfilling their commitments to our needs. This is all it's coming from. Nothing personal to the client, nothing personal to the project. It's just, this is premature. Were there any questions from the commissioners or the public before we go to a vote?
I have a question. Meredith, was anything in the plans about that you have presented tonight showing the alley being done or redone or cleaned up, or was there anything shown tonight?
Yes, Commissioner Rhodes, we did show a rendering of, the future intent of the alley. At the zoning subcommittee, we presented twice to the zoning subcommittee. There were questions raised about this. My client was personally present and did describe, the efforts that they're doing. There were comments regarding some illegal dumping occurring in the alley. He indicated that he had personally removed some of that material. There was a recommendation by the commissioners that he not just remove it, but then maybe he call 311. That way that there can be documentation that this is occurring. He has started to do that since that recommendation was made. And so, those I think are documents and evidence of the intent to take those actions.
Do we have proof of like photos where things were removed or 311 request was taken? Do we have anything like that?
I don't have that. Again, that wasn't asked of us from the last two meetings. You were asked about the security cameras, you asked about some of the other things, and we did answer those questions. I'd be happy to supply an answer to those subsequent, but we have a hearing coming up in 2 weeks, and so we would really ask for your support tonight. But we'd be happy to supplement that and provide that to you, just as a follow-up.
And just to make a correction, Ms. Moldenhauer, we did request photos. We did request those photos, and the owner did say he would get them to us, so I was surprised that you didn't include them in tonight's presentation.
I respectfully don't remember that request. I think we try to be responsive to the comments, but
We have the meeting recorded. We'll make sure to get that to you. Any other comments or questions from commissioners before we take a vote? Okay, Commissioner Arbuckle, you're in support of this. Would you like to place the vote on the floor then? Sorry? You're in support of this project. Would you like to place the vote on the floor in support of this project?
I would like, I'd like to.
Excuse me, I would like,
What was that, Commissioner Rhodes?
was Commissioner Arbuckle in roll call, and is he?
Oh, thank you for correcting me. You know you were not in roll call.
Thank you.
I'll place the vote on the floor then. You can give the mic back to Commissioner Roblin. Thank you. In respect to the commissioner for 5D01, I make a motion. I move that we support this project presenting for BZA case 21292. Can I get a second on this motion?
I'll second.
Can we get a second from recognized commissioner during roll call?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Fritz. Those in favor of the project or the motion, say aye.
Aye.
I want to say yes, but on a few conditions.
Hold a discussion for 3 minutes.
I want to vote aye, but on a few conditions that we get to see some actual pictures of what the project will look like, what that alleyway will look like. Similar concerns to activating an alleyway that has not been activated before, like understanding that we need lighting, I appreciate that the security concern was answered in regards to the security and the security cameras, but I think seeing a picture would at least present a little bit better just so that we have an understanding of what that use will look like. Because once you activate an alleyway, I'm sure other businesses will also follow suit. So I just personally I'm trying to envision it after seeing it like on a typical day-to-day basis. So I want to vote yes on the condition that we get to see those renderings and that the owner will come back to present to us as they get closer to the project coming about, just to give us a status update. So not saying quarterly, but prior to kind of opening any establishment, letting us walk through it as well as see it just to address any subsequent concerns. So yes on those conditions.
I agree. I was in. I was interested in seeing what this would look like, but the only rendering was the front facade. So I'm still sticking to my no. Are there any other comments? So if not, we'll close discussion.
Yeah,
Maybe we should table it.
I agree with Commissioner McCray. If we can see some photos of not only what was presented, but of the alley remaining clean and trash being picked up. Otherwise, it's a yes for me. I just need those conditions.
Okay.
And you can also send those pictures in our emails weekly, just so we know that the alley is being cleaned and that request is being kept.
We'd be happy to comply with those conditions.
Okay. So the 3-minute discussion is up. There's a motion on the floor. It was second by, there's a motion on the floor in favor of the project, second by Commissioner McCray. We'll go ahead and do roll call to get the vote. We have 5D02,
Yes.
5D03,
Abstain.
5D04 is absent, 5D05, it's a no, 5D06,
Yes with those conditions.
5D07 is absent, 5D08, yes, and 5D09.
No, it's a no for me.
Okay.
And of course, me, 5D01, a yes.
What was the total vote? I think it didn't pass, correct? Commissioner Rhodes, can you confirm? I think it didn't pass. Did you get the vote, Andy?
Yeah, hi Commissioner, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I got 4 yeses and 2 nos.
Okay, thank you. The motion does not pass.
4 yeses and 2 nos does not pass?
We have a quorum of 5, Commissioner.
Well, I'm saying I'm voting yes. And I'm here present. So my vote counts.
If you know parliamentary procedure, no, you're not present.
Well, please let me in.
We'll continue with the meeting. Ms. Moldenhauer, how do you want us to proceed? Are you gonna want to table this or should we move forward and do a new vote against the project?
Commissioner, I just respectfully, parliamentary procedure says that if a quorum is present, it's still a majority that would prevail. So your quorum, you have to have a quorum and you have a quorum, but then the vote of a majority, so 4-2 would be a majority. You don't need a full quorum all saying yes. You just need we need a quorum present to vote. And then from there, a 4-2 vote would pass and be a supportive motion.
You were yes, Commissioner?
No, I was abstaining.
And who's that a yes? So yes. Who was the can you repeat the yeses, Andy?
Yes, I had yeses from 5DO2, 5DO3, 5DO6, and 5DO8.
5D, 5DO2 is yes, 5DO3 is abstain, I'm sorry.
Oh, abstain.
5DO6 is yes, 5DO8 is yes.
We still have 3 yeses, 2 nos, and Commissioner Roblin abstained.
3 yeses, 2 nos, and abstention. Okay, motion doesn't pass.
Isn't 3 more than 2?
We have how many commissioners present?
Six.
Seven present. That means half plus 1 is 4, so that's be 4.
7 present now?
Wait, is that
McCollum is absent. Holzler is absent. And he is technically absent because he didn't show up. Or it didn't pass, Commissioner. Again, Ms. Moldenhauer, would you like to present again at a later date when you have more information that we're requesting? Or would you like to move forward with the hearing date you already have on calendar with the BZA?
And we'll move forward with the BZA date, but then obviously we'll see if the board will leave the record open to be able to come back to your next meeting.
I would suggest you to request an extension. Because it sounds like you got the support, you just didn't do your homework for tonight.
Well, I mean, respectfully, I believe that the motion does pass. You have a majority.
We
you still
don't have
3
quorum.
to 2.
We don't have quorum.
You have quorum because even though you have someone that's not able to vote, they're still present.
They're not present. They weren't here during roll call, as Commissioner Rhodes already clarified.
Well, how about this? Let me follow up with ANC staff who oversee and would provide potentially some guidance on whether this is a passing vote or not. I will follow up with you via email for a next step. Does that make
Perfect.
sense?
Perfect.
Okay,
That sounds
thank you.
perfect. Have a great night.
I'm on the next case, so I'm staying here with you guys.
Sounds good. So now we have the New York Avenue Men's Shelter update. We have Tyler Edge presenting.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. It's pretty late in the night. It's Tyler Edge. I'm the special assistant to the chief of staff here at, well, not here, but with Department of Human Services. As Meredith said, she will be taking control, well, giving you all the presentation on the Heritage, which is the upcoming shelter, or the shelter we're planning to develop. The goal is to get approval from you all before we move on to the next step again with the zoning commission. Is that correct, Meredith? That's good.
Yes,
All right.
correct. We also have some individuals in the audience that are in attendees. I don't know if we can admit them into to introduce themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. What are their names?
Suman Sorg, who's the project architect. We also have Rebecca Cunningham with Suman Sorg, Lisa Franklin from DHS, as well as Dwayne from DHS. I think that's everybody. I don't know. And David from DGS. Dave.
Got it. I think I got everyone.
And Rebecca would be sharing her screen. Rebecca, if you can share your screen and start the presentation, or I can, you already did. Thank you so much. So if you want to walk through the first few slides, then I'll take over.
I believe Suman is going to present if I think she's been promoted to panelist.
She should be pre-promoted panelist, yes. Simone, are you on? Can Ms. Sorg be
Can you
promoted?
hear me? Can you hear me? I don't know how to turn on the video, but
We can.
Suman, do you are you presenting a PowerPoint or anything?
yes, this is the PowerPoint. We are showing you the cover sheet of the PowerPoint. Can you
Okay,
see?
Andy, can you help Suman? Because I don't see it. Can everybody see the PowerPoint?
Yeah, we can see the PowerPoint.
Oh, okay,
Yes, I
okay,
see it
okay.
as well.
Okay, good.
Commissioner
So
Rhodes, are
do you
you
see?
on computer? You might just have to switch it at the top if you're seeing the
That's
webinar
PowerPoint.
view.
Okay. All right. Okay. I see it.
Hi, I'm Saman Sorg. Good evening and pleasure to meet everybody. We are here to introduce a very exciting project that will be on the corner of Fairview Avenue and New York Avenue, and also the byway that connects Mount Olivet Street to New York Avenue. This is the Heritage New York Avenue Shelter at 1201 New York Avenue Northeast. Next. So the project includes approximately a 400-bed facility. It has five distinct programs. There's a program for working people who are unhoused, seniors and medically frail, and respite, also unhoused. It includes a lot of support services, including health clinic and others, as we'll point them out to you on the floor plans. There's also a low barrier service, which is entrance for anybody who's seeking shelter, and a daytime service center, which includes dining and multipurpose rooms. The program, of course, includes dormitories and, as I said, medical suite, dining, training and educational spaces, multipurpose room. Now, the multipurpose room can also be used as a hypothermia, a hypothermia space, which can house up to 100 beds. The total building is approximately 100,000 square feet. And I'll show you how it works in terms of the two different wings, etc. The building meets net zero requirements and LEED Gold requirements as it's designed right now. Now, the client, DGS and DHS, all wanted a building that's of residential scale and only 4 to 6 stories high. And at this point, the highest part of the building is 6 stories. They wanted a separate program for work entry residents, and they wanted direct entry, away from New York Avenue, since it's not very safe to line up along New York Avenue where the current shelter is. They want a separate welcoming center, which we placed on the corner of Fairview and New York Avenue, and other stipulations, which I think were very sensible, which is not very large dormitories. So all the dormitories are between 8 to 10 beds each. It's easier to serve people in smaller dormitories, as well as it being more secure. And they didn't want, a lot of dormitories per floor, a maximum of 50 beds per floor, and ample outdoor space for recreation and just passive and also outdoor dining. So next. So as I said, the project is on 1201 New York Avenue. It's a block away from the existing shelter, which is to the east of the proposed new building. Now, the site is kind of a weird shape. It's where the existing animal shelter is, and that building will be demolished once all the animals are removed, and a new shelter will be built here. Next. So we've designed the shelter to be made up of two wings, so that we don't have a very big, floor plate, and it's more residential. So what you're seeing here, New York is a site plan that shows New York Avenue on the top of the sheet, Fairview Avenue to the right. The Welcome Center will be on the corner of Fairview and New York. This is where people will come in and they'll be, able to queue inside. We will be serving them coffee. There will be intake. And then from that, there'll be a connector that goes back towards the east wing, where that's a 6-story building with the lowest levels, and we'll show you this on floor plans, have all the services which are associated with intake, like barber shop and laundry and clothing boutique. On the other wing, the west wing, is oriented towards the Fairview Avenue, Mount Olivet Byway, which will have the work program entry there. And then the two wings will be connected by an atrium, which has a very interesting feature we'll share with you. It's all ramp, so that you don't have to use an elevator and wait for it, which doesn't work that well for this population. There is a heritage tree that is along New York Avenue that we're saving. That's why the buildings are moved out of the way of that tree. There will be parking access from Fairview Avenue, essentially an existing curb cut that's there, and provided about 41 spaces. The outdoor space will open off of the atrium with a deck, and then some passive recreation behind that. Now, the two slightly darker green spaces you see on the site plan are forest conservation zones that one is existing and one is proposed as providing a buffer between the road and the site, the building itself, as well as those are required by the National Park Service. And I'm sure Meredith will go into that, since this is a TOJ project with the district and National Park Service. So next. So the building, as I said, is 6 stories in the back wing. We have access to outdoor space on every dormitory level, so that people can come out from a lounge space at the end of the building and out into open space, which is a lesson we learned during COVID, that it's really important to have direct access to outdoor space. The welcome center you see on the left, the small building, that's the entry, and then the parking area behind the buildings. The parking will not be visible from New York Avenue. And then to the right, behind the east wing, you can see the forest conservation zone that I outlined in the site plan. Next. So the building is made of beige light brick, almost white. It is kind of has a very nice texture to it. The windows are wood frame, but wood simulation, not actual wood, because it's very difficult to maintain that. They are all residential in appearance. And then you can see the balconies to the left of the east wing, and then to the right of the west wing. Next. So this is a view into the area that will have save the heritage tree. We'll have direct access to it, supervised from the multipurpose room on occasions only. It's not, open to residents to come out, but we can use that space for recreation as well. Next. This is a close-up of the west wing, which is the entry into the work program, and you can see the generous balconies. We do have glass railings and wood railings along each side of the balcony to prevent, these are tall screens, 8 feet tall, so that there's no, security concern with being out there. Next. So the building will have, a considerable amount of its space dedicated to stormwater management. Not only will the roofs be green on all 3 buildings, they'll be also solar ready to have solar panels on them, the 2 wings and the welcome center. But the landscaping, the bioretention spaces along New York Avenue and behind the atrium will be fully planted. There'll be new planting along New York Avenue, as well as along the parking and the entry into the Welcome Center. Next. So this is a view of the plaza entry into the Welcome Center. And as I said, the client very much wanted the entrance not to be on New York Avenue. So this will be the primary entrance. To the left, you can see the parking, which will be controlled by security booths. And we also have bicycle parking here and the handicap access parking right beyond the gate. Next. So you're seeing the landscape design around the atrium and between the 2 wings to the west. This is the bioretention landscaping I talked about, which is required, and then the outdoor seating directly from the atrium. Next. So the plans, I'll go through them quickly so we don't bore you, but basically there's the welcome center in this floor plan. There's an entry queuing area, internal queuing area once you're let in. There's a waiting area, metal detectors. There's guards outside the entrance, and then there'll be guards inside the screening zone, and then an intake office that processes people, bathroom waiting, and also some client storage so people can leave their things at night when they come in and take them when they leave. Now, it was very important for the client to have an in egress and an out egress out of the main east wing. So they're 2 different, a divided corridor that leads you to the east wing. Next. So this is the first floor plan. As I said, you come into the lobby, and Rebecca, if you can point to it, I don't have the pointer, lobby into the east wing. All the services that are along there are consultation rooms. There's a clothing store. There's a barber shop. There are, toilets, a big laundry for everybody to be able to clean their clothes. And then behind all that is the building services like loading and staff support. And to the very front of the building is the main administration on this level as well, with all the offices directly off of the lobby. So the atrium that you see in the middle is where the ramp starts, and we'll show you a view of that as well. And then up to half level up, because New York Avenue slopes, quite a bit. There's the multipurpose room you can see in green. It shows all the hypothermia cots as they'll be laid out. So next is, so the second floors have more services like the dining, the kitchen, and then the medical suite on the west wing. There's also a small medical support suite for, overdose patients, which is called the sobering dorm. And here you can see the entrance into the west wing for the work program. Now, you'll see a lot of security desks everywhere. Every corridor has a actual view from each security desk. So there's never a time when not only we'll be able to, secure the building with cameras, but actual physical guards at every level. Now, the medical suite will have a dental suite, exam rooms, a laboratory, pharmacy, and nurses station. Next. So as we go higher, we start seeing the dormitories. So the pink dormitories are for seniors. In the West Wing, they have their own nurses station. They have individual bathrooms. On the East Wing, you'll see, we call community dorms, but they're really flex dorms. If we have more people who need to be, housed in one wing or the other, those dorms can function either way. Each floor has a lounge at the end of the corridor that opens onto the balconies. Next. So on and so forth. As you go higher and higher, you can see in the West Wing, the work program, dormitories. Now, these are slightly different because they have a desk and there's a furniture difference between the low barrier dorms and the work program. Next is, so this is the final two floors, fifth and sixth floors, also all residential. Next, and again, you can see all the security desks on each floor, on either direction. Next. So this is what a dormitory will look like. As I said, we're only going to have maximum 10 people to the dorm, to dorms. They'll have individual plugins. And this is a work dormitory showing a desk between the beds. Next.
Is it the
This is
friendly
what,
2-minute mark that you have 2 minutes left for the presentation?
okay, well, I just quickly want to show you the ramps that connect the two wings, but Meredith, maybe you want to take it on from now on. There's only 2 minutes left.
Sure, if we can just go to the next slide, you can kind of see the interiors. Next slide. You can see the multi-purpose room. That'd be next. There's a kitchen. Next. These are the common areas and individual units. Next. Computer room. Next. So now just going to give you a high level on the zoning for the project. We are obviously utilizing a very small portion of this large site and only having an FAR of 0.5. We are also not maxing out our current height on the project or lot occupancy. We are providing more than the required parking, but you'll see in the next slide that we are asking for some flexibility. We are complying with all of our bike parking requirements, and we are providing the loading, but we are asking for some slight flexibility. Next slide. So we are here tonight and talking about this consolidated PUD and map amendment, proposing to go from the RF1 zone to the MU9 zone. In connection with the PUD application, we are asking for flexibility to allow for the 42 parking spaces to all be compact. The zoning regulation under subtitle C7 12.3A only identifies you can have 50% of the required parking as compact, and the rest has to be full size. We're asking for flexibility here to allow all of these spaces to be compact, as having parking for the staff of a facility like this is very critical. And so we want to ensure that those that are, serving and working with these individuals have parking, as that is consistently kind of how majority of the staff, since there are shifts and there are multiple kind of evening shifts as well. We are then asking for some flexibility in regard to the loading berth dimensions under subtitle C 905.2. It's required to have a 12 by 30 foot loading berth. We are proposing an 8 by 26 foot. We believe that it would be sufficient to provide all the services for this project, as we identify the food delivery needs and others will come in smaller vehicles, and that this proposal is sufficient for our turning and radius turning diagrams. So we are seeking those two areas of flexibility. Next slide, please. We believe that this project is consistent with the comprehensive plan, as well as the specific small area plans, including the New York Avenue framework, and as well as the Ivy City small area plan. We believe that it is consistent with and would be an opportunity for the neighborhood, and providing obviously critically needed city services, and would propose a benefit. The time frame, this was just a little bit updated. We did file the application in December. We've engaged in extensive community outreach that we'll go through in a later slide. We did receive set down from the Zoning Commission in April, and we did then file the pre-hearing statement, which was served on all the ANC commissioners. We have not received a hearing date yet, but we do anticipate that that will be sometime in early July. Next slide. Just showing here the current zone and the proposed MU9 zone. As I did indicate, we are not maximizing the MU9 zoning standards, and the reason for going to the MU9 zone is mostly to permit the emergency shelter use by right. The MU9 zone is the first zone that allows for a by right shelter of this size. Next slide. This just shows the consistency with the future land use map and general policy maps. Next slide. And so this is just a general summary of our community outreach. And we started way back in December 2022, where we held town hall meetings with residents and staff members of the New York Avenue facility, understanding exactly what they would like to see in a future building. In April 24, we presented to the Interagency Council on Homelessness and obtained their feedback and responses. We had second presentation and feedback in September. We had an outreach to DC Council members in September. We presented to this ANC back in October of 24. We held virtual meetings with ICH in October and November, came back to this ANC in February. We presented to this ANC's zoning committee in March of 2025. We held a community meeting in Union Market on March 27th, where we engaged the community, went back and forth on various elements of the project, and we are here today as our third presentation to the ANC. Next slide.
Meredith, that's the last one.
Okay. I thought so. Okay, so we can take the slides down. And so we are happy to answer any questions that you may have of us. And, we obviously are looking forward to hopefully obtaining the ANC's support of this project as we move forward to a zoning commission hearing.
Great. Okay, perfect. So this is a really great project, but this is not in my single member district. This is in Commissioner Rhodes' single member district. Would you like to make a comment or question first, Commissioner?
Sure. Something that didn't catch my attention at first. The MU9 you were saying is or is not by right.
It is by right. So it's the first zone that allows the emergency shelter to be by right.
And the MU9 is allowing it to be 6 stories.
It does. It allows for the proposed height to be compliant.
And other than that, I'm just asking because a lot of development that's going on New York Avenue is going up 10 stories. So we just want to know, are you doing the 6 stories because it's I guess is presentable to be a shelter at 6 stories versus 10 stories?
Right, I can add a little bit. It is, I think we wanted, and the DGS and DHS both wanted a residential building, which is not a tower, like institutional, which is not a wall, which was like prison-like. So we, maximum height that we needed to accommodate all those beds in different wings was 6 stories. So that's about 83 feet tall and is well below what's allowed, right, Meredith, on MU9. And so I think what I think we've come up with is a not imposing, intimidating structure that has a residential feel. And
No,
Dwayne,
that's
Hey,
yeah,
Commissioner
that's
Rose.
great.
Yep.
That's
Thank you
great.
so much for that. Yep. Thank you. And Suman's 100% correct on point with that. I just wanted to add that we just wanted to, from a programmatic standpoint, I apologize, it's late. We wanted to give more of a boutique feel, rather
No,
than warehousing. Uh-huh.
no, I'm glad it's six stories high, not 10. So
Yes, ma'am.
I wasn't saying that I wanted it that tall. It's just that we're wanting all the buildings to be 6 stories, not 10 stories. And also the gate that's going to be around the men's shelter, was that changed to a private looking gate more so than an open?
So during
A
our last
see-through
community
gate?
engagement, what I'll say during our last community engagement, we asked that the residents voted on that, and it was changed. I do not have what it was changed to, but it was it was something that was selected, that they selected basically.
Okay, good. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you.
And also, just to add, both Lisa Franklin and myself, we're on the DMPED committee for the gateway coming into New York Avenue. So we'll take that back. That we want to try to lower the buildings a little bit.
Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Commissioner Roblin, final question?
Thanks. I have 2 short questions. One is, what are the hours? Like, are people allowed in there 24/7? Or do like so many shelters, they get kicked out during the day and only allowed in at night? And then my second question is, what is the security like in the rooms? Like, are security in the rooms where the people sleep? Because the amount of rape and theft is like huge in shelters.
Okay, I'll take your last question first. In terms of security, we have 24-hour security monitoring all of the dorms. The door will have visibility leading into the dorms, and we also have cameras. Well, not windows, but the side lights on the dorms. And that's one of the things, one of the reasons why we limit the bids to 50, I mean to 10 per dorms, 10 dorm bids per unit. Again, it's late, it's been a long day. Just to, reduce any type of agitation, things of that nature. And these are single bids, not bunk bids. As far as your first question, the dorms operating hours are 24/7. Um, and you'll be glad to know that in the workman's program, an added incentive is they do not have to leave as well. They can maintain their same bids, and they do have a little bit more leeway in terms of because they're working. It's a workers program, and we use that as an incentive to motivate the low barrier program residents to move towards a working program.
So one more quick, if I can, it's like, how many days does someone get and how do you prioritize who can stay for a longer time and who can't get in?
It's low barrier, so that there is no barrier to entry, if that answers your question.
Not really, but it's okay.
Do you want to rephrase it, and I'll try my best to do it again, give you a better answer?
Well, like, what if you too many people and not enough beds? And like, how do you decide who gets the bed? And can
Sure.
people stay continuously? How long at a stretch can people stay?
Yep. Well, what happened is if we have a resident that presents and there aren't enough beds to support them, then we'll work with UPO to get them to another site. That would be our first goal.
Can people stay continuously for how long?
As long as needed. It's a 24-hour program. It's a living building, if you would.
Thank you. Commissioner Rhodes, did you want to put a motion on the floor?
Sure, thank you. I motion that we support the Heritage New Men's Shelter.
There's a motion on the floor by Commissioner Rhodes. Can we get a second?
Second.
Second by
Second.
Commissioner Roblin. We'll do roll call. 5D02,
Yes.
5D03,
Yes.
5D05, yes. 5D06,
Yes.
5D08,
Yeah.
yes. 5D09.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for your support. Have a great evening.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Have a
And
great
Ms.
night.
Moldenhauer, are you still there?
Yes.
I want to apologize. I checked in with my parliamentarian and the full vote is 4-2-1. So you got 2 wins tonight. You got our support for your other project as well. Under those
Thank you.
conditions. So we look forward to getting some of that info, please.
We will comply with those conditions. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Moldenhauer. Okay, the next item before we go to our last PZA is a quick one. It's just a minute. We have the need for a new zoning committee co-chair. Kevin Horgan has stepped down and I am nominating Skip Keats to be our new co-chair for the zoning committee. Skip Keats is a longstanding member of the community, has been attending our zoning committee meetings for a good amount of years now. And I believe that he will be a great replacement for Kevin Horgan. With that being said, I'd like to place a motion on the floor for this. I move that we appoint Skip Keats as our new co-chair for the zoning committee. Can I get a second on this motion?
Second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Roblin. Do we need a discussion? Okay, hearing no need for discussion, the motion's on the floor, second by Commissioner Roblin. We'll do a roll call for the vote. 5D02,
Yes.
5D03,
Yes.
5D05 is a yes, 5D06,
Yes.
5D08, yes, and 5D09.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries and Skip Keats is our new co-chair. Skip Keats, I look forward to working with you as we have in the past. Okay, so with that being
And
said, we have,
just
yes,
really quickly, we do have NPD on the line.
yes, we have
Is
our
it
final developers and then we'll go to MPD.
okay?
So y'all have been waiting very patiently since 7 o'clock. We appreciate you. We have,
I don't think we did the Canva proposal,
what?
the proposal for the Canva subscription.
That was in their consent calendar item. Yeah. We have the folks here for 400 Moore Street Northeast. I believe this mic should be working. If you want to move it so you can be in front of the camera.
Oh, sure. Can everybody hear me? All right. Where's the
Oh,
camera this
okay.
way? Or am I? I can't tell from where I
You can
stand.
stand right here. Actually,
Well, I'll go ahead and start. Lawrence Ferris from the law firm of Goulston and Storrs, Land Use Counsel for this project at 400 Moore Street Northeast. This is the former Pallet 22 space just down the street at the corner of 4th and Morse. You may recall we were here last month, your meeting in April. We filed a BZA application for a special exception to permit an eating and drinking establishment with a live performance venue that'll occupy a portion of the first floor. And we were very grateful to get the ANC's vote and support last month. We're back here last month. Essentially, after we filed our application, there's a requirement in the special exception criteria you heard alluded to in an earlier presentation tonight, that there not be another live performance nightclub or dance venue within 1,000 feet of the property. So after we filed our application, the other application you all heard tonight, 21292 for 405 Morse across the street. About 3 or 4 weeks after we filed, they filed their application. We discovered that they had filed that at the ANC zoning committee in March, and then we reached out to the zoning administrator at the Department of Buildings to discuss how best to address that situation. And although we filed our application first and we have our hearing first, the zoning administrator recommended, just out of abundant caution, that we get a variance from that 1,000-foot separation requirement. So in short, that is why we're here for you all tonight. We do have our whole team, Scott Shaw, the property owner from Alexandria Restaurant Partners, Dan Daly from 105 Hospitality, who will be operating the restaurant and live performance venue. And our architect, Bruce Carlson, is also on and can come in as a panelist if we want to walk through anything. But just to be clear, nothing else is changing about the proposed use or anything we presented to you all last month, which is just the technical addition of getting this variance relief. So we do have our BZA hearing tomorrow morning, which is a tight turnaround given kind of how things played out timing wise. But we're happy to answer any questions you have and would very much appreciate having the ANC support for the variance request if you see fit. And thank you.
So just to clarify, at this point in time, we're just asking for a variance because there's a similar establishment across the street.
Exactly.
Yeah. So for the public, just for those that didn't attend any prior meetings with ANC 5D, these folks have presented a few times with us alongside with the project that Ms. Moldenhauer presented earlier tonight. I will say both establishments cater to different type of entertainment. One seems to be more of a the one at what is this? 405 Moore Street, I believe is a venue place for bookings. They book that venue, entertainers book the venue, but your space is primarily different. Am I correct?
Correct. It's really more of a restaurant with live performances as entertainment. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for clarifying that. Were there any questions from the commissioners in terms of this request?
Yes, can you let us know how often there will be live entertainment? And would you be in competition with any other venue spaces that's in the area or in close proximity to where you are?
Sure. So there'd be regular entertainment on a nightly basis throughout the week. All of the entertainment will be completely indoors. It's a pretty small performance space. It's limited to the first floor, and we're not permitted to have any outside performances or outside amplification. So we're not worried about noise impacts. I'm not aware of any other venue like this, certainly in Union Market, and I don't honestly anywhere else in the city that I could name off the top of my head.
Any other questions or comments to the commissioner? Okay, with that being said, we'll place a motion on the floor. I move that we support in favor of this project and their variance requests. Can I get a second for this motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner McCray. Do we need a discussion? Okay, we'll do roll call. 5D02,
Yes.
5D03, 5D05 is a yes, 5D06,
Yes.
5D08,
Yeah.
yes, and 5D09.
Yes.
Perfect. Motion carries and it passes. Since you all need that tomorrow night, I don't know if you want to just linger for a few minutes just to get that done right now or.
Sure, I can hang out.
Perfect. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you for your time.
With that being said, I'll ask if Commissioner Rhodes can take over the meeting from here and allow MPD to speak. So we can get this community room a little organized.
Sure.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Mhm. Is it Commander Rooney?
It is. Hi, Commissioner. Hi, everybody on the call. Can you hear me?
Hey, Commander. Yes, we can hear you.
How are you? I know there's a couple big things that have been on our plate. There's a couple questions about Neal and Staples Street Northeast. Before I begin, is there anybody that have any questions for me? Anything off topic? Questions, concerns for MPD?
About any crime, can you just give us all the information and
Sure.
any crime stats and anything that we need to be concerned about?
Sure. One thing that I want to tell you that we have had a serious uptick with, and that is motor vehicle thefts and anything motor vehicle related, any kind of crimes related to motor vehicles. Something that we've been trying to get out to the communities are leaving items in your car. The biggest thing that we're seeing, we're right now in the 5th district, we're leading the entire city in motor vehicle related crimes. The other thing is, I know I brought this up before and I'll bring it up again, is that 60% of our motor vehicle thefts are all hop-ins. So where people will continue to leave their keys in their car, leaving it started, and sometimes they'll take their key fob out of the car, keep it started, and then they'll go back inside their house, or just running inside to pick an item up at the gas station, especially. And guess what? Someone hops in. A lot of times it's a kid. They hop in and they take off on it. We're right now at its peak. I think we had like 350 to 400 stolen autos already in the 5th district alone from year to date. That's way too many. I'm not happy with it, but we're continuing to work on it. But I just want to get that out as much as I possibly can. A couple things that I recommend: getting air tags or the anti-theft device. I'm sure everybody's heard of the club, But if we can get some extra items, just not leaving our doors unlocked, not leaving any items for people to see, any kind of eye candy for people to come up to the car, break the window, grab it and go. It's one of the biggest pet peeves right now on my plate. The other thing that we've seen an uptick in is carjackings. Over the last 2 weeks, we've seen a significant amount of carjackings. In fact, today we had two attempt carjackings, and it will go down. An attempt carjacking is just the same as a carjacking because it's written into the statute. There is no attempt, so it's either a carjacking or it's not. So 4 or 5 kids approach somebody, right around their vehicle and try to get in, try to rip their keys out of their hand. They go to get into the car. The victim is able to fight off one of them. One of the victims in that case was an Uber driver, and he didn't make his identity known. So one of my biggest things is to be able to communicate with the police department and let us know when something happened. Even if you're able to fight them off, get to the police station, be able to tell us kind of where it happened and report it. Because what happens is now you're setting up the next victim or the next would-be victim that, could have potentially gone, unreported, which makes it impossible for us to link those cases together at times. But that's what we're seeing right now in the 5th District is motor vehicle related crimes and right now robberies. So I want to make sure everybody's aware of that. And then Orrin and Neal Streets, I know, or Staples and Neal, I know we've talked about putting cameras at that location. Is that something that's still on everybody's mind, or am I off base here?
I'm not sure which commissioner,
It's a mix of myself and Commissioner Roblin. There's just an uptick in a lot of folks hanging out, and we know like there's no loitering laws in DC, but just kind of speaking to that a little bit more. I don't know what approach would work best there. I don't know if cameras are the solution or what the solution is, but if we can discuss some potential options with those residents, I think that would be helpful, just to kind of hear what could go there. And I know it says my internet connection's unstable. Can you all hear me still?
Yeah, Commissioner, I can hear you loud and clear. I think.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Can I hop in real quick?
Yeah. No, that's cool.
So one of the things, Commissioner, that we can do, if it's after hours, let's just say it's after 10 p.m. If it's after 10 p.m., we have a noise ordinance. So even if they are loitering, if the ambient noise is kind of, if it's normally a quiet neighborhood, and then their ambient noise it meets a certain threshold, or there's a complaint in the neighborhood, we can go out there and move them along. Say, hey, you can't do this anymore. They can actually be arrested if they continue, even if it's loud. We had a situation at 600I and 600K in the alley where they were loitering in that alley, and the way that we were able to get in there was the complaints that were coming in to 911, and we actually made 4 arrests for noise at night. We have not had an incident since that night. Now it happened 3 Fridays ago. So we were able to make a few, they were partying in the alley. They were loitering out there. So if they're doing anything illegal, I highly recommend calling the police, letting us go out there, at least taking a look to see if there's anything that we could do to at least move them along, especially if it's going to be a public nuisance. We could always tell them to move or to leave that particular area. So the other thing, if they're drinking in public, if they have anything that they're storing on public space like grills or sometimes one location had a actual basketball court that they were playing basketball at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and that we were able to shut down and able to get officers over into that area. The other thing that we could do is we could look at off the call. We could talk about maybe getting into some of the vacant places around that area and maybe do some surveillance and then do more of an operation, if that's not the case, where we do undercover operations over there. So I don't know if that helps.
Okay, noted, noted. No. That's super helpful, and I could let
Sure.
those residents know that as well.
Sure.
And I guess just a follow-on question, kind of unrelated, but still in the same vein.
Sure.
When it comes to illegal dumping, are you all still going out on those illegal dumping cases? And kind of is that impacted by any of the budget shortfall or anything like that?
It is. We still have our environment. A lot of residents have called and or at least emailed me regarding our environmental crimes unit. That environmental crimes unit is still in effect. However, we are backlogged because of the budget deficit. We used to be able to pay a lot of overtime to do that. Now it's gotten, with $1 billion shortage, it's getting a little bit tighter to actually activate the team all at once. But it is still in effect. So if there's something that's pressing, we try and work with our partners. We try and work with the MOKers. We try and get our environmental crimes unit on top of it. If you have an address that you want us to take a look at it, I could send them out there, or at least send a sergeant out there to take a look at it, or at least meet with you, or meet with one of your constituents or any resident that there is. I don't know
I
if that-
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Sure.
I have a question about the car break-ins. We've seen a uptick in just somebody just went down the street and just broke in every car, and you just see glass
Yeah.
every so many feet. And someone from MPD was at Phil Mendelson's meeting and was saying, well, to keep your glass from being broken, the car, the jack or the bar is not going to help. Alarm is not going to help. These folks are brazen and they're doing it in daytime, and they're just, I've heard people say, I'm just going to leave my car unlocked.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly what it is. Is it that they're actually going into the vehicle and stealing and taking the whole car, or are they just breaking the glass because they're just breaking the glass?
No, they are. In some cases, they're utilizing. Well, first, some of the video that I've seen where they're going in, and the motor vehicle thefts that I have observed, a lot of those are hop-ins, where it's almost like this one could be prevented. Uber Eats guy pulls up to run in and get some food, and all of a sudden, kids see that and they just hop right in his car and they take off. Within seconds, they come out and they're looking for their car. They can't find it. Then they call the police.
Did we lose you? Think you froze. Commissioner
think-
Soseda Groupman, are you ready to take over?
Was that all the questions, or
I
I think we lost the
uh,
commander.
Yeah, I think we did. So,
Maybe he got a call. He's an
Okay,
important guy. We need
okay,
him busy
okay.
out there.
Yep.
Okay, with
Oh,
that
wait a
being said,
minute.
I think that's all for tonight's meeting. Was there anything additional that any commissioners needed to address, or was there any community questions in the Q&A?
Commander Rooney, are you still there?
Yes, I don't know. I lost you for a second there, and I popped back up. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, Commissioner, one of the questions was that you had asked about the broken windows. We are seeing more eye candy in cars. I watched one kid break into like 8 cars on a video. He was in and out of those those cars within seconds. For each one of them, he was in and out of 8 cars within like a minute. 1 minute, he was in and out. He grabs a flashlight, he looks in the car to see if there's anything of value, and then he moves on to the next car so quick and so fast. Within a minute, he had broken into 8 cars and got. It's not that he got the money. It's more. There was one where he left. It was a computer. The other one was like a handbag with not much money in it, and then the other like 6 of them that he had gotten were just minor things, to include sunglasses on one. But he would just how the quickness and sheer speed that he operated at was it's hard to catch him. So one thing that I'm recommending is the preventative measures with those, and that was not to try and leave anything in your car. I try and tell everybody to include the police department, to leave anything in your car. I know Commissioner Rhodes, you had said that some people are not locking their cars. I highly recommend not doing that because we also have the motor vehicle thefts where they're utilizing some sort of electronic device to either start it, or if like I have one of my older cars that I have, they can actually punch the ignition and still, drive it. One thing that one of the things that we are looking into is whether or not this is larger than just kids stealing motor vehicles. We believe that this is a bigger organization that might be shipping these vehicles outside of the country and getting money to kids. And I've never seen an uptick like this before. It is like at a speed that we hadn't seen before. And it's not just in the 5th District, it's citywide. Actually, it might even be East Coast wide, because they're shipping what I don't even want to say the rumors. Some of the intelligence that we've received is that they're taking these cars and they're taking them to whoever it is that's paying them the money, and then they're taking those cars, putting them into storage bins, and they're shipping them out of the country, so to other locations. And because a lot of them, I'm like, well, hey, we'll find a lot of the cars, recovered, but a lot of the, let's just say, even if you don't find half of them, where are they going? They're eventually they'll come across a license plate reader or something where we can pick it up and see it. So it's something that we're working on with the FBI and our federal partners as well, to see if it's something larger. And I believe that it is. But once we get a handle of it, we should see those start to decrease considerably. So
Okay.
just something to be just to keep an eye out on it. And most of them, if you have like an anti-theft device, something that's not easy for them to get, we're not seeing that many break-ins with those type of cars. I haven't seen any with any kind of anti-theft devices, or if there's nothing in the car, usually you don't have anything to worry about. So anyway, that's all I got. I just wanted to at least say hi to everybody. I know that Captain Simic was supposed to be on tonight, but we had actually closed a good carjacking, a good robbery this afternoon, and we arrested two people for that, and he got stuck on that. So I want to at least make sure that I was on it. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, Commander.
Thank you so much.
Okay, it is 9:52 p.m. I will like to call this meeting to order. Is there any additional items that need to be discussed? Okay, I move that we adjourn tonight's meeting at 9:53 p.m. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner McCray. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, ayes have it. Thank y'all so much. Feel free to join us virtually next month for ANC's 5Ds meeting, which is, it's already June next month? Oh, Lord. Let's see, that's Tuesday, June 10th at 7 p.m. Y'all have a great night. Thank you so much.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.